Welcome to the You Were Designed for Greatness podcast. Each week we will bring you inspiring tips, stories, and ideas to help you be all that you can be, discovering your greatness. Featuring Donna. Donna is a transformational life and health coach, a highly sought-after public speaker, and the founder of Vibrant Living. She has helped hundreds find a better life, free of stress and living the greatness they were truly designed for. And now, your host, Donna.
Welcome. I'd like to welcome you to episode 2 of this podcast. On this podcast, together, we are going to talk about everything. Things that would help you in your life, your family, your work, spirituality, health, and some happy life hacks. I have a passion that won't be contained to help women be all they were created to be. Women are amazing, but most of us just really don't know it. I am a woman of faith, and my faith is what has brought me to where I am today. I want this to be a safe place, a safe space. And I would love it if you would agree with me. There is no judgment during this time. No judgment for yourself. No judgment for any stories I share. That this is a safe space where we can share with each other. And I know you will agree with me. Every week, we are going to talk together about an area that could hinder us from stepping into our greatness. And I want to remind you that I'm doing the work, sharing the information with you here. But I don't want this to be just about information. I want you to make choices to be able to grow and to glean from this information. So as we get started today, I'm going to ask you right here, right up front, what are you going to do with what you're learning? Is this just another 10, 15 minutes? Whether you gain some information, how are you going to make impact so that you can step into your greatness? Maybe get a notebook, write notes on your phone, but get ready to do something to move you forward to your greatness today. I also have a couple gifts for you that I will be sharing at the end of this podcast. So get ready for that so you can take some notes on getting those gifts. So let's get started. Today, I want to introduce a concept for you to think about, and hopefully you will begin to practice. It is changing my life. I call it breathing room. Now, in the chaos of our everyday pace of meetings, events, obligations, carpooling, caring for parents, serving others, running errands, running across town, running myself ragged and running out of energy, and maybe finding me time, I would love sometimes just to sit with a cup of tea on my back porch. I would literally want some days to lie down in green pastures and sit beside quiet waters, but there's never a time for that with my everyday pace. So we need breathing room. Let me describe to you what that is. Breathing room is the space between your pace and your limit. Let me say that again. Breathing room is the space between your pace and your limit. When I was picturing this, I pictured a car being underwater. You know, with that air bubble right at the top when you barely got your head above water, pushed up against the ceiling of the car, trying to breathe so that your head doesn't go below water. Ever felt like that? I know I have. So what's your air pocket look like? How much breathing room do you have? Breathing room is an unhurried conversation with your best friend. It could be dinner around the table instead of drive-through. Breathing room is an intentionally slower, smaller, reprioritized life. I know you would agree with me that sounds way better than the frantic, frazzled feeling of being overcommitted and overwhelmed, and yet as we look at our list, we're like, how do I do this? How do I slow down? There's always so much to do. I would like you, as you look at your calendar, think about the things you are saying yes to and what you are saying no to. As we look at our calendar, let's go back to that word, reprioritize. And think about, is what most important to you getting the first yeses? Do you want to learn something that you haven't learned? Do you want to grow in some area? Are you wanting to grow your business? Are you wanting to take care of your body? What is getting your attention? What's getting the first yeses? Whenever we say yes to one thing, we are always saying no to something else. Think about that. So what's pushing us to live beyond our limits, where we have our head pressed up toward the ceiling of the car, gasping for breath? Think about it with me for a minute. What's pushing you to live at this frantic pace? Is it necessary? What are you afraid of? Well, that was for me. When I began to look at it was a lot of fear for me. I was afraid of missing out. I didn't want to miss out on anything, so I tried to squeeze in dinner with the girls, even though my day had been exhausting, or squeeze in another meeting, or squeeze in another phone call. I was afraid of falling behind. I was afraid of disappointing people, so I might join a committee or join a group that I really wasn't passionate about. Does this sound familiar? So stop and think. Why are you walking at the pace you are? What could change to create breathing room for you? Now, for me, I came from a hard-working Southern family. My mother, growing up, hoed the fields. She worked in a farming community, and most of her childhood, she was working in the fields. She grew up with the motto, if you weren't working, you were lazy. So there wasn't anything worse in our family than that word, lazy. So I grew up thinking to slow down or rest, it somehow felt bad, like I was doing something wrong, like there was something wrong with me, and I always had to do more. It felt like there was this hidden drive to be in motion, to have everything perfect, to be everywhere I needed to be, to have my house perfect. I remember one day when my kids were 1 and 3, and I was trying frantically to get my house cleaned. Now, if you've had a 1 and 3-year-old, as soon as you pick up something, they've dumped it. So it's this constant thing of, what did I do all day long? And so I was trying to get my kitchen cleaned and my floor mopped. And my 2 little ones had other ideas for me. They wanted me to play with them, and they wanted my attention. And I remember looking down at them, and something shifted inside when I decided to sit down in the middle of my dirty floor and play Legos and Barbie dolls with my beautiful son and daughter. They weren't going to be this age forever. And I wanted to cherish every moment and not let house cleaning and perfection be my first priority. Now, I haven't always succeeded as my kids were growing up to stay in that, but I remember that day, sitting down in the middle of my dirty floor, starting to laugh, going, it's not the end of the world. Even though my mother might have thought it was, that it was okay to slow my pace down and to take some time and breathe. Breathing room. That space or place between your pace and your limit. When we are running frantically around and under stress to perform and to be perfect, it affects our quality of sleep. It affected mine. How's your sleep? Do you feel like you get enough rest? Studies show that 1 in 3 adults don't get enough sleep. And nearly 40% adults report that they fall asleep during the day when they didn't mean to at least once a month. And adrenal fatigue, the level of stress and fast pace that we seem to be forced to run under, has becoming more and more common in the last 10 years when it didn't used to be. There's a couple of myths. Some people have said to me, if I have to sleep, it's a sign of weakness, which is absolutely silly. And then some people believe that their bodies can learn to get by with just a little sleep with no negative effects. And that's just not true. Research shows that getting enough quality sleep at night is vital for your body, for your mental health, your physical health, your quality of life, and even your safety. It affects tons of things. We must sleep. To do all of this, to reprioritize your life and to get some breathing room is necessary for us to step into our greatness, to be all that we were created to be. Breathing room is times when we're refreshed, we're creative, and getting good sleep is necessary to be healthy, happy, refreshed, and vibrant. Live vibrantly. You know what? Even God rested. And we run at a pace where, God rested. I think you should too. Why does it seem so hard sometimes? So I mentioned in the beginning that I would give you some action steps that you could take. Number 1, look at your calendar and really look at it and reprioritize what is most important and begin to take steps toward making that happen. Schedule in some breathing room for you. One of my gifts is I've created a booklet about sleep. Tips to get better sleep, things to do that help you to sleep better and to get restorative sleep. Things to eat, things to not to eat, all kinds of wonderful information is included in this book, and it's yours free. All you have to do is message me on Facebook or send me an email. All the information is on my website. And the last gift that I'd like to offer you today is if you would like some support in talking about finding breathing room, talking about what is happening in your life, I am offering a clarity call for you. It's super easy to schedule on my website. Just visit my website, schedule it online. So I've got those 2 gifts, the sleep booklet and a clarity call. I promise the clarity call will bring clarity to your life, which is why I called it that, and be able to move you forward to be who you were designed to be. We were designed for greatness, and I want to thank you for tuning in today. I would love it for you to share this podcast with other amazing women that you know. And until next time, live vibrantly.
Thank you for joining us on this powerful episode of the You Were Designed for Greatness podcast. Please share this with others who might enjoy it. For more info on Donna Tashton or to contact her, visit iVibrantLiving.com.